Who did this to you? Malik's voice did not rise, yet it carried a weight that pressed heavily into the room, into Kikik's chest, into every unspoken memory between them. Who could be so heartless? He stepped closer, his eyes fixed not just on the bruises she tried to hide, but on the way her shoulders stiffened, on the way she instinctively pulled back as if words themselves could strike her. How could I stay silent after seeing this? These are nothing. You think these are wounds. You should see the scars inside my soul. Ah. Kikik turned her face away. I told you, she said quietly, almost mechanically, none of this concerns you, not anymore. Her words sounded rehearsed, like lines repeated so many times they had lost meaning, but Malik heard the tremor beneath them. How could it not concern me? He asked, disbelief sharp in his tone. How could I stay quiet after seeing all this? You expect me to look at you like this and say nothing. Don't you think we already passed this point long ago? Haven't we suffered enough already? No, she answered, finally looking at him. We haven't passed anything. We're still standing in the exact same place. Nothing has changed. Her eyes were tired, older than they had been before everything broke. But anyone would. Malik cut her off, raising his hand slightly, not in anger but in desperation. Don't talk. If you talk now, you'll only make it worse. You think if I wanted to understand, I could. You think if I wanted to see, I'd be able to. If I wanted to hear, I would hear. You built a wall so high around yourself that even if I screamed, my voice would never reach you. So just forget about me then. That's what you want, isn't it? Kikik's breath caught. No. Tell me, then, she said suddenly, her voice breaking through her restraint. Tell me everything. Maybe I'll understand. Maybe for once I won't be blind. How do you explain this much pain, Malik? How do you explain years of fear, nights spent awake listening for footsteps, days lived with your heart constantly racing? I thought I only had invisible wounds. I thought I was strong because no one could see them. But it turns out there was so much more, so much uglier, so much deeper. He watched her carefully now. What did you live through? He asked more softly. What kind of bottomless pits did you fall into? What kind of hell did you crawl out of to stand here in front of me like this? And tell me who did this to you? Who? She swallowed hard. I already told you everything, she whispered. Every ugly detail. I did it under Zara's pressure. Every step, every lie, every decision, I did it because she cornered me. Because she threatened me. Because she knew exactly where to hurt me. I did it to protect the people I love. I did it to protect you, Malik. Please forgive me. Her voice cracked completely now. I want us to make peace. I want us to be happy like before. Like we used to be, before fear entered everything. Before every smile had a shadow behind it. Malik shook his head slowly, as if her words physically hurt him. How could you do something like this, Kikik? How could you make a choice like that? Was everything we lived through, every promise, every dream really destroyed because of some stupid threat? Is that all it took? And all of this, all of it, without telling me a single word? How could you decide something like that on your own? How could you cut me out so easily? I can't wrap my head around it, he continued, his voice growing hoarse. I really can't. If you were struggling, shouldn't you have come to me first? Wasn't I supposed to be the one you trusted the most? Do you have any idea what I went through when you left like that? Do you know what kind of pain I'm still carrying? When I believed what you said, when I believed it was really over, do you know what happened right here? He pressed his hand to his chest. Something broke that I don't know how to fix. Kikik shook her head, tears finally slipping free. You're right, she said. You're so right, it hurts. But I suffered too. When Zara threatened me like that, when she made it clear she would destroy everything and everyone I loved, I didn't know what to do. I was terrified. I was alone inside my own head. You shouldn't have been alone, Malik said firmly. You should have known. You should have known that we always stand side by side. Not just against Zara, against everything. Even if the whole world stood against us, we would still be standing together. The only thing you had to do was trust me. Just trust me. He took a step back now, as if the weight of what he was saying was finally too much. You can't just leave like this, he said. You can't disappear and then come back expecting everything to be the same. Do you think I didn't suffer? Do you think I wasn't hurt? Do you know what it means to say it's over to the person you love more than your own life? Do you know what that does to a person when nothing is actually over? Malik, please, Kikik whispered. Don't do this. Don't look at me like that. Don't you know me? Don't you know who I am? He let out a bitter laugh. Maybe I don't. Maybe I never did. Because if you didn't trust me, if you really believed you had to face all of this alone, then you didn't believe in us. And without trust, there is no love, Kikik, none. You scattered everything we built at the slightest wind. You didn't even look back. So what happens now? He asked quietly. Where do we go from here? She had no answer, only silence. And in that silence, both of them understood the truth they were afraid to say out loud, that even if they stood in the same room, they were no longer standing on the same ground. Silence stretched between them like a thin line of ice, fragile and dangerous. Kikik felt it beneath her feet, felt how easily it could crack if either of them moved the wrong way. Malik was still looking at her, but no longer searching her face for answers. Now he was searching himself, as if trying to understand how everything had slipped out of his hands without him even realizing it. You keep saying you did it to protect us, he said at last, his voice lower, calmer, but heavier than before. Protect us from what, Kikik? From whom? From Zara. He let out a slow breath. Do you really think I don't know what kind of woman she is? Kikik flinched at the sound of Zara's name. You don't know what she said to me, Malik. You don't know how she looked at me when she realized she had power over me. She didn't shout. She didn't threaten me openly. That would have been easier. She smiled. She spoke softly. She told me exactly how my life would fall apart, piece by piece, if I didn't do what she wanted. Her hands trembled slightly as she clasped them together. She said she would ruin you first, your work, your name, your future. Then she said she would come for my family, one by one. She knew things, Malik, things I didn't even know how she learned, addresses, weaknesses, secrets. She made it clear that this wasn't a warning. It was a promise. Malik closed his eyes for a brief moment. And you believed her? Yes, Kikik answered without hesitation. Because she meant it. I saw it in her eyes. I've never been so afraid in my life. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. All I could hear was her voice telling me that if I stayed with you, everything would burn. So you decided to burn us yourself first, Malik said quietly. The words hit harder than shouting ever could. Kikik's shoulders shook. I didn't want to hurt you, she said, her voice barely audible. I thought if I walked away, if I made you believe I didn't care anymore, she would stop. I thought she would be satisfied. I thought pain now would be better than destruction later. You thought you could carry all of that alone, Malik replied. You thought you could be strong enough for both of us. I had to be, she whispered. You don't understand what it's like to feel trapped like that. Every direction I looked, there was only loss. If I stayed, I would lose everyone. If I left, I would only lose you. I chose the smaller pain. Malik laughed softly, but there was no humor in it. The smaller pain, he repeated. You decided that losing me was the easier option. She raised her head sharply. That's not true. Losing you was the hardest thing I've ever done. Every step away from you felt like tearing something out of my own body. Every day I woke up thinking maybe I should come back. Maybe I should tell you everything. But then I would remember Zara's face. Her calm, her certainty, and I would freeze all over again. You didn't trust me enough to let me choose with you, Malik said. That's what hurts the most, not that you left, but that you decided for me. You took away my right to stand beside you. Kikik reached out instinctively, then stopped herself halfway. I was scared, Malik, scared of losing you forever. Scared of watching you get destroyed because of me. Scared that if you tried to fight her, she would win. And now, he asked, are you still scared? She hesitated, yes, but I'm also tired. I'm tired of running, tired of lying. Tired of pretending I don't care when everything inside me is screaming your name. I couldn't carry it anymore. That's why I came back, not because the danger is gone, but because I couldn't live with myself like that. Malik studied her face again, searching for something truth, maybe, or certainty, but finding neither. Zara didn't just threaten you, he said slowly. She broke you, and you let her. Kikik nodded, tears falling freely now. I know, and I hate myself for it, every day. There was a long pause. When Malik finally spoke again, his voice was distant, as if coming from far away. You know what the cruelest part is, he said. If you had come to me that day just once and told me everything, I would have stayed. No matter what, even if the whole world had burned. She covered her mouth with her hand, a sob escaping despite her efforts. I didn't believe I deserved that kind of love anymore, she confessed. Zara made sure of that too. Malik turned slightly away from her, as if needing space just to breathe. Love doesn't work like that, Kikik, he said. You don't earn it by being fearless. You don't lose it by being afraid. But once you choose fear over trust, some things change forever. He looked back at her one last time in that moment. And now we're standing here, trying to undo something that was done in fear. I don't know if that's possible.